So, don't scroll. Because in your hand you might be holding 4 coins that look ordinary, but one small detail, one word, one shine, one mistake at the mint, can change the entire story. Today we're putting 4 Elizabeth coins on trial. 1969 Australia, 10 pence, and the first twist, it's actually 10 cents. 1979 UK 2 pence, 1987 UK 2 pence, and 1998 20 pence, with a trap most people fall into before they even start. This video is not hype. No fake million claims. No scam prices. We're doing the only test that matters, condition and correctness. In the next minutes, I'll show you how collectors decide value using the same simple ladder every time. Worn circulation, high-grade circulation, uncirculated / proof-like, and the final boss, auction-level errors. Here's your mission. Grab a light, tilt the coin, and watch the surface. Because the difference between worth nothing and worth real money is often just a sharper rim, a cleaner strike, an unusual color, a wrong planchet, or a detail most people never even notice. Stay with me, because the first coin we check exposes the biggest mistake people make. And once you see it, you'll never get fooled again. Don't scroll, because this coin looks small, but the value story can be big depending on one thing: condition. You're holding a 1969 Australian 10 cents coin with Queen Elizabeth II on the front. Many people call it 10 pence, but in Australia it's 10 cents. That one detail already separates real collectors from fake hype. Now here's the truth that keeps this video real. Most 1969 10-cent coins are common because millions were minted. So if your coin is worn, it will not be a jackpot. But if it's sharp, uncirculated, proof, or a genuine mint error, the price can change fast. Pick up the coin and look at it under a bright light. If it's dull and the details look soft, especially the queen's hair, the rim, and the lettering, then your coin is what collectors call low-grade circulated. This coin has lived a hard life in pockets and cash drawers. In that condition, it's usually worth close to face value. People may pay a little extra if it looks decent, but normally you're looking at 10 cents up to maybe 50 cents. And please don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy collector value instantly. Now step up one level. If your coin is circulated but still looks nice, letters are clear, the rim is strong, and you can still see sharp detail, then you have a high-grade circulated coin. This is the type collectors sometimes buy when building a date set. In that condition, the value often moves into the $1 to $3 range, sometimes a bit more if the coin has attractive eye appeal and fewer scratches than usual. Now here's where people start paying real attention: uncirculated. Uncirculated means the coin has no wear on the high points. It can have tiny contact marks from being stored in bags or rolls, but it should still have fresh mint luster when you tilt it. If your 1969 10-cent coin looks bright, clean, and new, uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $10, depending on how clean the surfaces are. But the most underrated truth in coin collecting is this: perfection is rare. Even if millions were made, very few survive in top mint state condition. If your coin is unusually flawless, sharp strike, strong luster, minimal marks, then it can jump into higher collector money. Coins like that, especially if professionally graded high, may reach 20, 50, or more, because collectors pay for the best. Now, another category people forget: proof coins. Proofs are not regular pocket change strikes. Proofs look different, often with mirror-like fields, sharper detail, and a cleaner presentation. Proof coins were made for collectors and usually come from sets. A 1969 proof 10 cent can sell for 15 to 60 plus, depending on condition and whether it's part of a full proof set. Now we reach the part everyone waits for: auctions. Big auction prices almost never happen for a normal, average coin. Auctions get exciting when the coin is not normal, when it's an authentic mint error. That's where the coin becomes a story. So what counts as a real auction coin? Look for obvious problems that happened at the mint: a dramatic off-center strike, a double strike, a clipped or split planchet, or a coin that looks wrong in metal or thickness. If your coin looks odd, in a way that a normal coin shouldn't, it could be an error worth serious collector attention. Genuine major errors can sell from $50 into the hundreds, depending on how dramatic they are and whether the coin can be authenticated. Here's the most important rule before you do anything. Do not polish, do not clean, do not rub it. If you think you have an uncirculated coin, a proof, or an error, cleaning can cut the value in half or destroy it completely. Now do a simple final check. Tilt it under light. Does it still shine like it just left the mint? Are the rims strong and the details sharp? Do you see anything unusual, wrong color, strange strike, off-center design, or a weird edge? If yes, you might have more than 10 cents. Most 1969 coins are common. Some are collectible. And a few, when condition is elite or the mint made a mistake, become the kind of coin people fight for at auction. Hold that 1979 2 pence in your hand for a second. Don't rush. Don't assume. Because this small bronze coin with Queen Elizabeth II on the front carries two different stories, one of common pocket change and one of collector potential. First, the honest truth. The 1979 Elizabeth II 2 pence from the United Kingdom was produced in very large numbers. It was made for circulation, used daily, and most surviving examples today are still just worth face value. That's important, because real value begins where condition improves. Now let's break it down clearly. If your 1979 2p looks heavily worn, dark, scratched, and the Queen's hair details are soft or flat, you're looking at a low-grade circulated coin. This coin has lived in pockets for decades. In that condition, it is usually worth exactly what it says, 2 pence. Sometimes a bulk buyer might pay slightly more, but realistically it remains pocket change. Move one step higher. If your coin is circulated but still sharp, clear lettering, defined portrait lines, strong rims, and decent original color, this becomes a high-grade circulated example. These coins are more appealing to collectors who want a clean date set. In this condition, values often move into the 20 pence to £1 range, depending on eye appeal. Now we enter the serious collector zone, uncirculated. An uncirculated 1979 2p should show nowhere on the highest points. The bronze color should still glow when tilted under light. There may be tiny contact marks from storage in mint bags, but no actual rubbing from circulation. In true uncirculated condition, this coin can bring £2 to £8, sometimes more if the surfaces are exceptionally clean. But here's the secret most people miss. Perfection is rare, even for common coins. If a 1979 2 pence survives in extremely high mint state condition, minimal marks, sharp strike, blazing original luster, it can reach higher prices, especially if professionally graded. Top-tier examples can move into the £15 to £40 range, sometimes beyond, because advanced collectors compete for the best quality examples available. Now let's talk about what makes prices jump dramatically. Big money rarely comes from normal coins. It comes from errors. Check your coin carefully for unusual features. Center strike, double strike, clipped planchet, wrong metal appearance, silver-colored instead of bronze, major die cracks or striking abnormalities. A genuine, dramatic mint error can transform a basic 2p into a collectible worth £50, £100, or even several £100s, depending on how rare and visually strong the error is. Auction houses pay attention to real mint mistakes, not everyday wear. There is another detail collectors should remember. Before 1982, 2 pence coins used the wording new pence. In 1979, this wording is normal and correct. So if you see new pence on a 1979 coin, that is standard, not rare. Confusion about wording often creates fake hype online, but informed collectors always verify facts. Now do a 15-second inspection. Tilt the coin under a light. Does it shine strongly? Are the edges crisp? Is the strike centered and clean? Or does something look unusual? Here's the final reality. Most 1979 2p coins are common. High-grade examples are collectible. Exceptional mint state pieces are desirable. And true mint errors are where auction excitement begins. A small bronze coin can be ordinary, or it can stand out. The difference is never the date alone. It is always condition, preservation, and rarity. Check yours carefully. Most people look at a 2p and think, it's just pocket money. Some people go the other way and shout, it's worth millions. Today, we're doing something different. We'll separate the common coin from the coin that can actually surprise you, and I'll show you exactly what to check in less than 2 minutes. First, the facts that matter. The 1987 2 pence was minted in huge numbers, 218,100,750 coins. That's not a typo. It's a very common date, which is why the average example isn't rare at all. So if your coin is heavily worn, with flat details and lots of scratches, the value is usually close to face value, because collectors can find nicer ones easily. Now let's break it into the 4 value zones. Zone 1, low-grade circulated, the everyday coin. This is the coin that lived in pockets, tills, and jars for decades. Look for dull surfaces, weak hair details on the queen, and a reverse that looks tired. Value, typically 2p to maybe 10p, 20p in bulk or as a filler coin. It's not exciting, but it's honest. And here's a key warning, do not clean it. Cleaning can make even a better coin worth less to collectors. Zone 2, high-grade circulated, where people start paying attention. Now we upgrade. This coin still circulated, but it was lucky. Look for sharper details, readable lettering, and some original color remaining. This is the kind of coin collectors may pick up to fill a date run. Value, often 50 pence to £2 depending on how clean and attractive it is. Not life-changing, but it proves one rule. Condition creates value. Zone 3, uncirculated/brilliant uncirculated, BU. The kept safe coin. This is the coin that never did real work. It sat in a roll, a set, or a collection. It should have strong mint luster, crisp edges, and no wear on the highest points. 4 2p coins of this era. The Royal Mint lists the standard specs like 25.9 mm diameter and 7.12 g weight, and the 1987 circulation strikes are from the Bronze era, before the 1992 switch to copper-plated steel. Value, usually £2 to £8 for nice BU examples, sometimes more if the coin is exceptionally clean or from a respected mint set. And if your coin is professionally graded and lands in a strong mint state range, it can climb, because top-condition modern coins are harder to find than most people expect. Zone 4, auction money, what actually creates big prices. Now we talk about the part everyone wants, the jackpot. Let me be very clear. A normal 1987 2p is not a £1 million coin. The million stories come from confusing common dates with rare errors. If a 2p sells for serious money, it's usually because it's not normal, it's an error with evidence. Here are the big red flags that can turn a cheap coin into an auction piece. Wrong metal/foreign planchet error. A 2p should look coppery brown. If it looks silver-colored, that's unusual and needs investigation. There are documented cases of 2p coins struck on the wrong metal being taken seriously by auction specialists. Major strike errors. Off-center strikes, double strikes, brockages, errors that are obvious even to non-collectors. These can attract bidders if authentic. Proof coin versus circulation coin. There are also proof versions from sets, and some price guides list separate proof mintages. For example, NGC lists a 1987 proof figure. Proofs have a different look, mirror-like fields and sharper presentation, made for collectors, not pockets. So what should you do right now? Hold your 1987 2p under a light and do the 30-second check. Does it look oddly silver instead of bronze? Does the strike look misaligned or doubled? Does it look too perfect like a proof? If yes, don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't take a random person's million offer seriously. Photograph it clearly, front, back, and edge, and compare it to verified examples or take it to a reputable coin dealer or auction specialist. Because the truth is simple. Most 1987 2p coins are common. But a high-grade example is collectible. And a real mint error is where auctions can get interesting. This is the story of a small coin with a big identity, the 1998 Elizabeth Australian 20-cent coin. At first glance, it may look like ordinary pocket change. A silver-colored coin. A familiar portrait. A simple number 20. But behind that modest appearance is history, metal, rarity, and value. The 1998 Australian 20-cent coin features Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, a portrait that represents decades of constitutional monarchy in Australia. The reverse proudly displays the platypus, one of Australia's most unique native animals, symbolizing the nation's distinct wildlife and heritage. This design has been iconic for generations. Now let's talk about value. In circulated condition, meaning the coin has been used in everyday transactions, the 1998 20-cent coin generally holds its face value. That means around 20 Australian cents. In worn condition, scratched, or dull from years of handling, collectors typically pay no premium. It remains common. However, condition changes everything. In higher circulated grades, coins with strong detail, limited scratches, and good luster, the value can rise slightly. A well-preserved circulated example may sell for 50 cents to $1, especially if it has attractive eye appeal. But the real difference appears in uncirculated condition. An uncirculated 1998 Australian 20-cent coin, one that was never used in daily commerce, retains its original mint shine. The surfaces are crisp. The platypus details are sharp. Queen Elizabeth's portrait is clean and untouched. These coins were usually pulled from mint rolls or stored carefully from the start. In standard uncirculated grade, collectors may pay between $2 and $5 Australian dollars. While not rare, these coins are desirable for collectors building high-quality date sets. Now let's move to high-grade examples. Coins professionally graded at MS65 or above, meaning mint state with strong luster and minimal marks, can bring higher premiums. In MS66 or MS67 condition, especially with excellent strike quality and full detail on the platypus fur and water ripples, the value may reach 10 to 25 Australian dollars depending on demand. The reason? Perfection becomes rare. Even though millions were minted in 1998, very few survive in flawless condition. Every small mark lowers grade. Every contact scratch matters. High-grade modern coins are harder to find than many people realize. Now, an important clarification. There is no official 20-pence coin from Australia in 1998. Australia uses cents and dollars. The 20-pence coin belongs to the United Kingdom. So if someone says 1998 Elizabeth 20-pence Australia, they are likely referring to the Australian 20-cent coin. Collectors should always verify country, denomination, and metal composition. The 1998 Australian 20-cent coin is made from copper nickel, not silver. It contains no precious metal. Its value comes purely from condition and collector demand, not bullion. So what is the final verdict? Circulated condition, face value to $1. Uncirculated condition, $2 to $5. High mint state grade, $10 to $25, depending on quality. Not a fortune. Not a hidden treasure. But a respected modern collectible. The power of this coin is not in extreme rarity, it is in preservation. The better the condition, the stronger the value. A simple coin becomes special when it survives untouched. So check your coin carefully. Look at the shine. Look at the edges. Look at the platypus detail. Because sometimes value is not about age, it is about condition. And that is the real truth behind the 1998 Elizabeth Australian 20-cent coin.